Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम सच्चिदानंद रूपाय कृष्णाय क्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदांत वेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वलोकहिते रतं वेदाब्ज भास्करं वन्दे समाधिनिलयं मुनिं सहस्रमूर्ते पुरुषोत्तमस्य सहस्रनेत्राननपादबाहोः सहस्रनाम्नां स्तवनं प्रशस्तं निरुच्यते जन्मजरादिशान्त्यै। ओम लेट गया लेट गया गो लाइक दिस। Namaste once again everyone.
Namaste, Guruji.
Sorry.
Namaste.
Namaste. Yeah. So as
Namaste,
I announced, I am actually conducting this class on the connecting to my personal hotspot in the mobile. And in case if there is going to be some disturbance or dropping of signal or anything like that, I will try to reconnect again and we will continue the class. Yesterday, Bhagavad Gita class, I could conduct successfully. So I hope and pray that today also we'll be able to complete the class. So that is one thing. Second thing is we are meeting after 2 weeks. 2 classes we have missed due to unavoidable circumstances. We couldn't help it. So we will continue from where we left off. Okay. Araudra Kundali Chakri Vikram Yujida Shasanah Shabdadiga Shabdasaha Shishira Sarvari Karah. Sharvari Karah. I think the last class we just started with this sloka, even though we did not see the meaning of any of the namas. So we'll see the meaning of the namas. Araudraha, the one who does not have any violence. So Adi Shankara says, Karma Raudram, Ragascha Raudraha, Kopascha Raudraha, Raudratrayam Asya Nasti, Avapta Sarvakamatvena, Ragadveshadehe Abhavadi Iti Araudraha. So he talks about Raudratrayam, 3 types of Raudram. Karma Raudram, Raga Raudram, Kopa Raudram. Three types of Raudram. Bhagavan is Araudra, free from Raudram. So as I said, there are different types of Raudram, wherein karma could be violent, that is Raudram. Raga, desire could be a violent desire, and also anger, krodha, kopa could also be violent. So the one who is free from these three kinds of Raudra is Araudra. Because people engage themselves in frightening activities like destruction, vandalism, rampage, terrorism, etc., isn't it? And why do they do that? Because there is a lot of build-up of hatred, fear, insecurity, and anger. That is what drives them to become violent. And in anger and hatred, there is a lot of destruction. When you hate some person or something intensely, you just want to destroy that person or that thing. And even when we talk about desires, these unfulfilled desires, they cause pain, and that turns into anger and then to hatred. In fact, as we have been seeing here also, and even in Bhagavad Gita classes also, the root cause of samsara is desires. Raga is the basis of all our problems in our life. That does not mean, of course, that you should not have any desires, right? You can have desires. And in Bhagavad Gita, we discussed, those are students, common students, we discussed what type of desires one can have and what types of desires one should avoid. I will not go into the details here. But this raga has got two roots. Raga in Bhagavad Gita, there are two roots which Bhagavan Krishna talks about what raga can lead to. Raga, shoka, moha. Desires, raga lead to shoka, which is sorrow, grief, which leads to delusion. This is one root. And the other root is desires, they lead to krodha. Therefore, there, what is emphasized is you can have certain types of desires which are non-binding desires. So coming back here, the unfulfilled desires cause pain, and that turns into anger and hatred. Then it becomes a vicious circle rather. And Bhagavan is Avapta Sarvakama, one who has all his desires fulfilled, in the sense that being full, being Purnaha, being complete, there is nothing unattained by him. Therefore, Bhagavan does not need to have any desires, in fact, let alone fulfill them. He has no likes and dislikes. And therefore, there is no anger born of that, leading to Raudram. And if we look at the people in the world, everyone is given to different degrees of violent action. And also, the conditions of the mind are different. And we have seen this, especially when people get power. These tendencies of violence seem to increase. And that's why it said power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. What is absolute corruption? Absolute uncontrolled corruption. We are witnessing all these things. Because when power is there, there are no deterrents. Nothing stops them, there are no obstacles. And that makes one lose control of what one does and how one feels, and also to a feeling that one can get away with anything that they do. And Bhagavan is the Almighty, He is absolute power. Now, interesting thing is, when we say Bhagavan has got absolute power, does it mean that he has got Raudra also in absolute measure? The answer is that all these things are...
Audio, there is a problem.
Audio problem is there? 1 second, let me check. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
There is a slight discontinuity has happened in between.
Okay.
Yeah, now it is clear.
Now it's clear.
But in between,
I think
your sentence, something...
Because of this signal, instability, probably it might be happening.
True.
Even though I cannot even find out, because I'm still connected. That's what it shows me.
If you can kindly repeat your last.
Yeah, I will repeat it. Yeah. As I was saying, every one of us, if we observe, we are given to different needs of violent actions. Can you hear now? Am I audible now?
Yes, it is audible now. Thank you.
So, and also the conditions of the mind of people are different. And as I was saying, when people get power, these tendencies of violence increases. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. We know that. I mean, this is a saying. What is absolute power? Absolute uncontrolled corruption. Absolute power leads to. Because when one has got power, there are no deterrents, and one loses control of what one does, and he feels that he can get away with anything. And we have seen Bhagavan is Almighty. He has absolute power, Sarva Shaktiman. Does that mean that he has Raudra also in absolute measure? The answer is no. In spite of absolute power, Bhagavan has no Raudra at all. Therefore, we invoke Bhagavan as Araudra for getting rid of our tendencies towards Raudra Kama, Raudra Kopa, and Raudra Karma. That is violent desires, violent anger, and violent actions. So we invoke Bhagavan as Araudra and try to gain mastery over our own tendencies for violence, for anger, and also, towards our own tendencies for undesirable desires. So this is Araudra. Then Kundali. Kundali has got two meanings. One is who has earrings, Kundali. And another meaning is the one in the form of Adisesha. Sesha Rupa Bhag iti Kundali. Sahasramshu Mandalopama Kundala Dharanat Va. Yadva Sankhya Yogatmake Kundale Makarakare Asyasta iti Kundali. So this Nama Kundali is basically meant for Upasana. Meditation. Bhagavan, we meditate on Bhagavan as Kundali, either the earring of Bhagavan, which is Kundalam, or Adisesha Rupa. He is actually Ananta Shayanam, on Adisesha. So he is Kundali being in the form of serpent, Adisesha, who Kundala also means a coil. So the serpent is the coil, and Bhagavan is pictured as Kundali having beautiful kundalas, shining earrings in the form of sun and moon. Because these are the only two things we see shining in the sky, sun and moon. And when we do meditation, and when we understand that this Bhagavan is nothing, whatever we call Ishvara, Bhagavan is nothing but this entire universe. Then what will represent the kundalas of Bhagavan? Sun and moon. They are the only two shining nearer to us. Of course, there are stars, lot of stars far away. But these two shine, so we can imagine, visualize these as kundalas of Bhagavan. So he is Kundali. Chakri. Chakri, the one who wields a discus. Shankha Chakra Gada Pane, isn't it? So Chakram is one of the weapons Bhagavan has got. Samasta Loka Rakshartam Manastatvatmakam Sudarshana Akhyam Chakram Dhatta Iti Chakri. Chalaswarupa Atyanta Javenantara Itanilam. Not able to split that. Chakraswarupam cha manodhattehe Vishnu kare stitam iti Vishnu Purana vachana. Okay. So this is a quotation from Vishnu Purana. So he has got the Sudarshana Chakra in his hand for protecting people. Samasta Loka Rakshartha. And therefore he is called Chakri. The one who has got Chakra is called Chakri. And the Chakra stands for Manastattvam, the mind principle. Because the Chakra as such in the Purana stories and all, it is as swift as the mind. In fact, all these things, all these namas, we need to understand in all their dimensions, their philosophical connotations. So that is why he is Chakri. Then Vikrami, the one who has valor. Vikramaha pada vikshepaha shauryam va dvayam cha asesha purushebhyaha vilakshanam asyeti Vikrami. We have seen this Vikrama earlier also, this Nama. Vikrama has got two meanings. One is valor. Another is footstep also is called Vikrama, Trivikrama. We saw it, right? The one who took 3 steps. So both his footstep and valor are in a measure which is totally distinct from all others. That only belongs to Ishvara or Bhagavan, and therefore he is Vikrami. Then Urjita Shasanaha. Urjita, powerful. Shasanaha, his mandate, his command. So Urjita Shasanaha means the one whose mandates are powerful. Shruti Smriti Lakshanam Urjitam Shasanam Asyeti Urjita Shasanaha. Bhagavan is Urjita Shasana, one whose mandates and laws are excellent and powerful. They are universal, but not absolute. But at the same time, they are not loose also. And they can be looked at in 2 ways, as laws of dharma and also as laws governing all physical and other spheres. For example, when we look at fire, it is not that the fire is hot for one person and cold for another person, isn't it? It is universally hot. But it is not absolute in the sense that one can have fireproof protection. So even though it is universally hot, it is not absolute. So too the laws of all natural forces are urjita. They are excellent and intelligent network that brings about harmony. And that is why it is possible to study and understand the laws. That the same thing behaves in a different way, in a different condition, is also his law only. That is why, it is possible to use the laws to our advantage. If we understand the universal laws, the cosmic laws, we can use those laws to our advantage. And again, talking about the laws of dharma, in the form of Shruti and Smriti, they are also impartial and universal, but they are not loose. They are not absolute, in that they can be interpreted according to situations. Of course, it is not that all laws of dharma need to be interpreted. There are universal laws, there are certain laws which are absolute. There is no, you cannot compromise on them. You cannot subject them to any interpretation. But even a law like Satyam Vada, always speak truth, is subject to interpretation. What is that interpretation? We know that very famous Subhashitam, isn't it? Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat satyam apriyam. What is the interpretation? Speak the truth, but speak the truth in a loving way, in a loving manner. If truth cannot be spoken in a loving manner, it is better not to speak the truth. Keep silent. Na bruyat satyam apriyam. So even though Satyam Vada is an absolute law, always speak truth, we need to interpret them according to circumstances. Even I have earlier also probably given you examples from Ramayana, Mahabharata and all, where even Lord Rama, or for that matter Yudhishthira, they had to, Krishna himself for that matter, had to resort to something which is not absolutely true for the sake of dharma. So these are all things that we have to keep in mind. So wherever we talk about the laws of dharma, we need to be careful. Some of them may need to be interpreted according to the circumstances. But having said that, the laws of Bhagavan are universal, they are impartial, they are excellent, and they are powerful. Hence, he is Urjira Shasana. Shabdadigaha. Shabda Adigaha. Atigaha, the one who is beyond words. Shabdan Atitya Gacchati iti Shabdadigaha. Shabda Pravritti Hetunam Jatyadinam Asambhavat Shabdena Bhaktum Ashakyatvat Shabdadigaha. Puja Swamiji says, after 910 namas, Vyasacharya is saying that Bhagavan is Shabdadigaha, the one who is beyond words. Does that mean that all these namas are useless? We have wasted our time? The answer, of course, is no. Bhagavan, from the standpoint of his Swarupa, can never be the object, the direct meaning of any word. That we have seen. Bhagavan cannot be objectified because he has no attribute, no action. He does not belong to any species, does not have any relationship. Whereas if we see, words can function only within this range. So since his Swarupa is unlike anything else, the Shastras have to use paradoxes in order to explain to us what that Swarupa of Bhagavan is. Thus, only by using paradoxes and implying through words can Bhagavan be revealed to us. And therefore, since he cannot be described by any single word, he is Shabda Adhikaha. The Upanishad says, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato vacho nivartante. From whom words retreat. Aprapya manasasaha, along with the mind. You cannot reach Bhagavan with words, with the mind and all that. So he is Shabdadikaha. But then next Nama says he is Shabda Sahaha, the one spoken of by the words of the Vedas. Sarve Vedaha Tatparyena Tameva Vadanti iti Shabda Sahaha. Again, Bhagavan, Vyasacharya quotes Adi Shankara. He quotes from Katha Upanishad. Sarve Veda Yat Padam Amananti iti Shrutehe. And also from Gita. Vedaischa Sarvai Ahameva Vedyaha iti Smrutescha. So, even though he is Sabdadiga, he is also Shabdasaha, the one spoken about by all the Vedas. You can know Bhagavan only through one source, which is the Vedas. Smriti and Shruti, both you can take. So, there is no other discipline of knowledge which can give us the knowledge of Bhagavan. It is only the Vedas and the scriptures which are derivation of the Vedas can tell us about the real nature of Bhagavan. So he is Shabda Sahaha. There, the words help us to understand what Bhagavan is, to discover Bhagavan. Then Shishiraha, the one who is in the form of cool season, Shishira Ritau. Tapatraya Abhitaptanam Vishramasthanattvat Shishiraha. As I just now said, Shishiraha means the cool season. So in the form of the cold season, he is Shishira. He is Shishira also because, like the Shishira Ritu, the cold season, He is the refuge which cools one from tapatraya. What are the three tapas which all of us are afflicted with? The tapas, the heat of the inner and external afflictions, adhyatmika, adi bhautika, and adi daivika tapas. Constantly we are attacked by these. And Bhagavan is the only place where one can be free from the heat of these tapas. So he is Shishiraha, cool. Sharvari Karaha, the one who makes the night. Samsarinam Atma Sharvari Iva Sharvari, Jnaninam Punaha Samsara Sharvare Tam Ubhayesham Karoti Iti Sharvari Karaha. And Adi Shankara quotes from Bhagavad Gita, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagarti Sanyami Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sa Nisha Pashyato Munehe. We will come to this sloka, Gita students, after a few slokas. This is the 69th sloka. We are now in 58. Iti Bhagavat Vachana. So Gita he quotes Adi Shankara. So basically the word Sharvari means night. So Bhagavan is Sharvari Kara, the one who makes the night, so that all living beings can rest and relax. So by resolving the notion of I and mine, Mamakara and Ahankara in deep sleep state, the individual is able to relax and have a temporary respite from day-to-day problems. Because all our sense organs, even our mind, is totally resolved in deep sleep state, Sushupti Avastha. And Sushupti Avastha is the Avastha in which we get total relaxation. Even in Swapna Avastha, in dream also, we don't get relaxation because the dream also, it is another world we enter into, and that world also is no different from samsara. It can cause tremendous amount of stress and strain in our mind, because the mind is very active in dreams. It is only in Sushupti that we can really relax. So when we sleep at night and when we get up early morning fresh and relaxed, you can take it for granted that you were in Sushupti Avastha, totally relaxed. See, generally in daylight, we are able to see things clearly, and in darkness of the night, that becomes difficult to see things, right? Therefore, what is clearly perceived is said to be as clear as daylight, and what is not clear is like night. So while some are awake to the truth of the oneness of Ishvara, oneness of Jiva in Ish and Ishvara, others are asleep to this fact. They are in the dark about this fact. Hence, there is a confusion and conflict. So the majority of the people seem to see duality as Ishvara separate from the Jiva as clearly as seeing things in daylight. Therefore, what it follows? Bhayam. Bhayam followed by Krodha, threats. Duality always will bring in threats and fear. And that is what is samsara. So everything that they experience, they are very real for those people. But those who know the truth of oneness between Jiva and Ishvara, they are as though in darkness with reference to samsara. They do not see the threats and problems that others see. And that is why this sloka, Bhagavan Krishna is explaining exactly this. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam, that which is night for all beings. Tasyam jagrati sanyami, the one who is wise, who has mastery over oneself, is awake. Yasyam jagrati bhutani, that in which beings, all beings are awake, and all beings are awake to the samsara problems. Sanisha pashyato munehe, the wise people see that as darkness. Beautiful contracts Bhagavan Krishna brings out in this sloka. It's a very, very important sloka for us to understand the difference between a jnani. Of course, this is all continuing, it's all started with Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha. Then Bhagavan explains what are all the things, the traits, the characteristics of a jnani. And this is one of the slokas where he brings out one more aspect of the difference between a samsari and a jnani. But then, who causes this knowledge for the jnanis and ignorance for the samsaris? Since Bhagavan alone is the cause of everything, he is not only the object of knowledge and ignorance, but also he is the cause of all knowledge and ignorance. Hence, he is Sharvari Karaha. The ignorance or the lack of experiential knowledge of the jnanis also is portrayed as darkness of the jnanis. Similarly, the ignorance of the true nature of oneself and true nature of Bhagavan, which is the same, is the darkness for samsaris. Both ways, we can look at it and understand this nama Sharvari Karaha. Now we go to the next sloka. Akrura peshalo daksho dakshina kshaminam varaha vidvattamo vita bhayaha punyashravana kirtanaha. अक्रूर है, पेशल है, दक्ष है, दक्षिण है, क्षमिणाम वर है, विद्वत्तम है, वीतभय है, पुण्य श्रवण कीर्तन है. So 8 namas in this sloka. Akruraha. Kruraha means we all know one who is cruel. Akruraha means the one who is not cruel. Krauryam nama manodharmaha prakopajaha antaraha santapaha sabhiniveshaha avapta sapta samasta kamatvat kama bhavat eva kopa bhavaha tasmat kauryam asya nasti iti akruraha. The idea is the same, but being expressed in different words in different contexts. So as I said, kraurya means cruelty. It's an emotion, a mental modification. It is actually a santapa, a mental affliction born of anger, jealousy, frustration. And as we just now saw, all these generally they are seen when there is power in one's hand. But then we have also seen that absolute power is the only power of Ishvara. Absolute power, actually speaking, if we understand, is no power at all. It is not that there is a locus of absolute power and elsewhere there is limited power. All limited powers belonging to either jivas or devatas are all only delegated powers. All are delegated by Parameshwara to all jivas, devatas. Wherever you see power, it is a delegated power. Parameshwara is one who is incapable of cruelty because fear, which is the cause of cruelty, is not there. When we know that there is no second thing to threaten, and then Bhagavan is the only one, there is Ishvara alone, there is only Ishvara. So nothing can make Ishvara feel insecure. And therefore, there is no reason for fear. He has no anger, no cruelty. All these things are all Jiva Dharmas. Because of our ignorance, lack of understanding what our true nature is. Therefore, Bhagavan is Akrura, devoid of Kraurya. We come across people, they say, I have no fear at all. No, I'm a fearless person. Till something strong comes around and then the fear comes in this person also. But in the case of Bhagavan, there is total absence of fear because the cause of fear is not there. Na bibheti kutaschanheti. Taittiriya Upanishad. He has no fear from anything since the second thing is not there. So he has no fear or insecurity and therefore he has no need to be cruel. Akruraha. Peshalaha. Peshalaha, the one who is fascinating. Karmana, manasa, vacha, vapushacha, shobhanatvat peshalaha. Peshala means the one who is, handsome, splendid, fascinating. So in whichever way Ishvara is looked at, he is Peshala, very handsome, gentle, fascinating. When we look at this world itself, which is Ishvara, nothing but Ishvara, we are fascinated by the varieties which are there. The magic of Ishvara in putting things together is fascinating. His every manifestation is fascinating and inspiring, and there seems to be no end to that manifestations. If we go through all these avatars, his deeds, mind, words, body are all beautiful. Therefore, he is Peshalaha. That's why Adi Shankara says, Karmana, Manasa, Vacha, Vapusha. Karmana, deeds, Manasa, mind, Vacha, words, Vapusha, body, all are beautiful, fascinating. Therefore, he is Peshalaha. Then Dakshaha, the one who is skillful. Pravriddaha, Shaktaha, Shigrakari cha Dakshaha. Trayam Chaitat Parasmin Niyatam iti Dakshaha. Ishvara is the most Shakta, capable, and hence Daksha, skillful. And not only is he capable, but he is also a Shigrakari, capable of doing things very fast. Because in everything that we do, there is so much of planning, gathering resources and manpower, and execution is involved. It takes a lot of time and effort, thinking. But This entire universe, the Jagat, is created by mere sankalpa of the Lord. He thinks and it is there. There is no time involved. Why? Because time itself is yet to be created. What is creation is nothing but a thought of Bhagavan. Tadaikshata bahusyam prajayeti tattejo srijata tatteja aikshata bahusyam prajayeti tadapo srijata. Chandogya Upanishad. It explains how this creation was made in just one kshanam. It saw in the mind. It created. Sankalpa. Other Upanishads also talk about the same thing. I am one, let me become numerous. World is created. Universe is created. Even for us also in dream, we think of a mountain and mountain is there immediately in the dream. Similarly, for Bhagavan also, this entire universe creation is just by Sankalpa alone. And that is why he is Daksha, he is Pravriddha. He is most grown up, Pravriddha, most grown up because he has no limitations whatsoever. So, this is the how we have to understand Daksha, skillful. Dakshinaha. Dakshina, normally, there are so many meanings we know. Dakshina, the one which we give to the priests. Dakshina means the south. But here, Adi Shankara takes a totally different meaning. Dakshina means the one who is efficient. Dakshina shabdasya Dakshina shabdasya api daksha eva artha. Shabda Vedat the Pauna Rutyam Atava Dakshate Gachati Hinasti Iti Va Dakshina. Adi Shankara says the word Dakshina has the same meaning as Daksha. Then we will say, oh, there is a repetition, that is a defect in the scriptures. He says there is no defect of repetition because the words are different. He says, if you say it is different, meaning is the same, then he says, okay, I will give you another meaning. In the Sanskrit language, Daksha also means, the one who destroys. So take that meaning. So Ishvara creates, and what is created has got to be continuously resolved. A movement is born and it is gone. Only what is can go. So Bhagavan continuously resolves that which is created. So as Daksha, he continuously creates, and as Dakshina, he continuously destroys or resolves. So he says, take that meaning as Dakshina. Even though the word Dakshina can be taken as to mean Daksha also. But if we say that no, there is a Punarukti dosha, that is the dosha or defect of repetition, Adi Shankara gives us a way out for that. Shaminam Varaha. Shaminam Varaha, the one who has got forbearance, tolerance. He gives a very detailed bhashyam. Shamavatam yoginam prithivyaadhinam bharadharakanam cha sreshta iti kshaminam varaha. Shamaya prithvi samaha iti Valmiki vachanat. He quotes from Valmiki Ramayana. Brahmandam akilam vahan Prithiviva bharena nardi iti prithivya api varova. Kshaminaha shaktaha ayam tu sarva shaktimatvat sakalaha kriyaha kartum kshamate iti va kshaminam varaha. So it deals with it in a very detailed manner. Kshami is one who is able to put up with all omissions and commissions of everybody. Every one of us has got a certain level of patience. But there is a limit to our patience, isn't it? We often say, oh, there is a limit to my patience. Sadhus or Mahatmas are Kshamis with lot of forbearance. And the best example given for forbearance is the earth. It bears patiently all the weight of this entire universe, if not the universe, at least the entire world. But Bhagavan has got absolute forbearance. And so he is Kshaminam Varaha. Varaha means superior, Varach Pratyaya. And the word Kshami has also the meaning of one who is capable. So that way also, Bhagavan is having all the powers, so he is Kshaminam Varaha, the ablest of all. Then Vidvattamaha. Vidvattamaha means the wisest. Nirasthatishayam jnanam sarvada sarvagocharam asya asti na itaresham iti vidvattamaha. As we all know, Vidwan means a scholar. But every scholar, every Vidwan, his scholarship is in a limited field. As we have seen, in all these fields, medical field and any field for that matter, even economics and all. Sorry, all that. Excuse me. In all these fields, as one specializes, one field becomes narrowed. In fact, as one comes to know more and more, he comes to know less and less about less and less rather. Therefore, scholarship becomes narrow and there is always something more to know or someone who knows more. But Ishvara is Sarvanya and Sarvavit, knowing all things with all their details. He also knows himself. He knows the Vedas because he is the one who has given the Vedas to this world. Therefore, his jnanam is sarva gochara, all encompassing and always free from atishaya. Atishaya means free from atishaya means being excelled by someone else. Nobody can surpass Ishvara in knowledge. Hence, he is Vidvattama, the wisest. Vita Bhayaha, the one who is free from fear. Vitam Vigatam Bhayam Samsarikam Samsara Lakshanam Va Asya iti Vita Bhayaha Sarveshwaratvat Nitya Muktatvacha. Nitya Muktatvancha. So Vita Bhayaha means one who is from whom fear has gone away. When we say that fear has gone, does it mean that there was fear earlier and therefore it has gone? That can be said for a jiva, in individual. Because jiva has what? Samsarika bhaya. The fear within samsara of various things. So many fears are there amongst us. Losing the job, losing the money, losing the health. Fear of income tax. People raiding, demanding more tax from us. So many fears. Go on listing. If we sit down and list books and books, we can read what are all fears that we have got. Fear of our children not taking care of us in the old age. Married couple, fear of not having a child. Couple having a child, fear of the child getting sick. So much bhayam is there. All these are all the bhayam of the bondage of samsara. But then, how can this compound Vita Bhaya can be used for samsara, for Bhagavan? Because in all these cases, there is a bhayam, and we can say that that fellow, the fear has gone from him, so he is Vita Bhaya. How can Bhagavan, we can use this nama for Bhagavan? Because Bhagavan does not have any fear at all. Being Sarveshwara, he is in the control of everything. And so samsarika bhaya is not there. Or being nitya mukta, ever liberated, having no ignorance, he has no fear of samsara. In fact, if you look at it, bhaya or fear in any form is afraid to even come near Bhagavan. But we still say Vita Bhaya hai. Why? We say he is Vita Bhaya because we are frightened and we also want to be Vita Bhaya, free from fear. So we invoke Bhagavan with the Nama, which shows that we want to be what we want to be and what we want from him. Hey Vita Bhaya, we want to become also Vita Bhaya. Get rid of all the samsara fears. Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. The one, the hearing and reciting of whose names give punya. Punyam, punyakaram, Shravanam, Kirtanam cha asyeti Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. Shravana, listening about Ishvara, Kirtana, singing or reciting his namas, they give punya, which in turn gives sukha. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Punya Shravana Kirtana. We want happiness, sukha, and for this we require punya. Of course, sukha is drishtaphala, and punya includes both drishtaphala and adrishtaphala. Listening about Ishvara gives us punya, and Bhagavan is the ear and also the ear of the ear. Hearing is Bhagavan, what is heard also is Bhagavan, and it is all about Bhagavan that we hear. This is called Shravana. Listening to Vishnu Sahasranamam, even with a very vague understanding, will give punya. The study of Shastra by listening to it from a teacher or reading the books and understanding it is also Shravana. Kirtana is talking to people about the glories of the Lord, chanting or singing them. Even teaching Shastra is Kirtana. That Ishvara is everything, if this is understood, any Shravana or Kirtana is only of Ishvara. Whenever we take the name, I say laptop. That is nothing but Kirtana of Ishvara. Ishvara manifests in the glory of my laptop, which is capable of performing so many things, and that gives me happiness. So if we learn to look at everything in this world as Ishvara, whatever name we take, whatever word we use, they will all give punya and sukha only. And this will eventually give us moksha sukha, paramananda. That is the meaning of punya shravana kirtana. I will recite the chant the next sloka, then we'll see the meaning in the next class. Uttarano dushkritiha punyo duswapna nashana वीरः रक्षणः सन्तः जीवनः पर्यवस्थितः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Thank you.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess that.
Guruji, I have a question after everybody has said thank you.
Fine, no problem. Go ahead. Ask the question.
I think you have answered this query of mine in one of the earlier sessions as well. We said Bhagavan has no krodha or ugra or krodha. Then all these natural calamities that happen, is it all because of the karma phala of the people or the nation at that time? I'm not sure whether I'm audible or whether my question is.
A little bit difficult, but then can you repeat the question?
I can repeat, Guruji.
Yeah. Now I can't hear anything.
No, Guruji, 1 second. I'll just come out of the Bluetooth. Sometimes that does not be.
Am I audible now, Guruji?
Yeah. Now you're audible. Yeah.
My question was that we said in one of the namas here that Bhagavan has no krodha or he has no ugra. But the natural calamities that happen where masses of people die, so is that because of the karma phala of the people or the nation at that time?
Yes, absolutely. Because karma is not only individual. A place has also got karma phala. And also there are so many things, that's the law of karma is a very, very deep and complicated subject rather. Because if there is someone has got a very, very severe karma phala, that karma phala, when it actually visits him, can even affect the people around him rather, even though they may not be part of that karma. So there are law of karma has got lot of dimensions rather. So whether we talk of some because this question often comes in any discussion. There is an air crash. Some 200-300 people are dead in one event, right? Does it mean that all the 300 people had the same karma phala and that they came together just for this? The answer is not necessary.
Yeah, no.
Not necessary. Because if some karmas are so strong, then around, what they call in the parlance, what they call collateral damage. That's a word they use.
Right.
Terrorism and all for that matter, right? Collateral damage will always be there. Tsunami, it comes, right?
Yes.
Not that everybody who gets affected has the same karma phala, but collateral damage can happen. That's why in general, what we need to understand is Bhagavan is not doing this or out of anger or anything. The moment we understand that this whole thing is a system, it's the law and order.
Law and order system.
Right.
Yeah.
So when certain, it is just like, when the clouds are formed, they rain. Not always that they should rain, but for raining, clouds have to be formed. So it's a system rather. So like that, everything in this world works in a particular order, particular system. It is not because Bhagavan has got any krodha or anything. Bhagavan has given certain order, certain system he has built. Everything works in the system. That's how we have to understand. So akruraha, akrodaha, all that we have to understand like that only. From a saguna standpoint. Nirguna standpoint, obviously there is no form, there is no qualities, nothing. So there cannot be any question of any krodha, anything for Bhagavan. So both these ways we can understand all these namas.
Yes. Thank you very much, Guruji. Thank you. Hari Om.
Any other question? If nothing is there, so I will close the session. I hope to be back in Bombay tomorrow. So thank you very much, all of you. Next class will be from Coimbatore. Actually, I'll be going to Coimbatore on the 1st December. Lot of traveling involved. Okay. Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you, Guruji.